friends, it's Cynthia Nessel at Create with Cynthia, and today I'm here to show you a quick, easy DIY craft project that is something you can use in your own home during the holidays, or if you want, you can give it to a friend or family member as a gift. So what I did is I went over to Michael's and I picked up a 6-pack of these metal surfaces. And they have a hook on the back, so if you want to hang it on the wall. They also have a nice table stand if you want to just stand it on your table. But what I'm going to be doing is putting them on my Christmas tree. So I'm going to take 6 surfaces and I'm going to decorate my tree with them. Stencils is a company that makes mylar plastic type stencils that are reusable, and I'm a brand ambassador for the company, and so every season they send me their new stencils, and so I'm super excited because they came in the mail today and I've been waiting for them because I've been wanting to do this video. So I got some really large ones that say Christmas, and there's another one that says Believe, and then I also got some that are 12 by 16. There's one that says Merry and Bright, and there's another one that says Baby It's Cold Outside, and then there's one that says Let It Snow. And if you look back there, I did one already that says Baby It's Cold Outside. 12 by 16 is a great size because at most of the craft stores you can find a surface that's a 12 by 16 size. So with this, then I also received a new alphabet set, and I got a bunch of little 6 by 6 size holiday ones. Now again, I'm a brand ambassador for Essential Stencils, so if you go to my website, which is createwithcynthia.com, you can just click on the Essential Stencils link and you can purchase the stencils through my website, and then I receive a commission, so I'd appreciate if you would do that. With the stencils, you can use paint if you'd like, but I'm going to use chalk art because I'm also a maker boss and I work with a Maker Studio products, and the chalk art I find to be a super easy way to stencil on surfaces. So this is what the chalk art looks like. This green color is called Together Forever. It's just such a beautiful color. And what you do is you get a scraper, you take your surface and you adhere it, you take your stencil and you adhere it to your surface. You can use blue tape if you want, or you can just hold the surface in place. I'm going to line it up so that it's straight on the stencil, straight on the surface. Stencil surface, stencil surface. I'm getting a little confused, sorry about that. So I'm lining it up so that the stencil is straight on the surface. I think that looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is take a glob of chalk art, and I'm just going to easily scrape it onto the stencil. What I like about the chalk art is it's washable, so if you make a mistake, you can easily wipe it off. I also like it because it's a little thicker in consistency and you don't get bleed through on the sides, which with paint, you're not going to scrape it on, you're going to blot it on. And you can use some kind of a foam brush. Essential Stencils carries a great brand of brushes, and what you do is you blot it on. But if you have too much paint on your brush, it's going to bleed through and you're not going to have a pretty stencil. So this is what I look like here. And then what I'm going to do is carefully peel it up, and there is my pretty stencil saying December 25th. So I'm going to set this over here and I'm going to let it dry, and once it's done drying, I'm going to use my Maker Studio products again. I like the sealer, the matte sealer, and the foam brushes, and I'm just going to apply it on top of the surface. I'll show you here because I already did this one. I took a different type of a surface. I used a black and a gray paint color, and I did stripes. And then I took the candy cane stencil that Essential Stencil has. I'm going to The other thing I do is I have a bucket of water. You can't see it, but it's right next to me. And so when I'm done using a stencil, I just throw it in the bucket of water. And that way the chalk art starts to come off of it, and it's a lot easier to clean it. So here's my candy cane sign. The matte sealer is a white glue type of consistency, as you can see. And it works really good in sealing. The only trick is that you don't want to brush back and forth. You only want to brush over the surface once, because otherwise you'll get smearing. Maybe twice. It's going to show up a little white, but it's okay because it will dry. So I'm going to just let it sit and dry, and what you'll see when it's finished is there won't be any color to it. So any sealer will work. Any type of a matte sealer from any type of a company you can actually use to adhere the chalk art or the paint to your surface. Okay, so I'm working on my Christmas tree. These are all going to go on my Christmas tree. So I'm going to do Merry Christmas next, because I do celebrate Christmas. So I just want to line it up. I take my stencil and I put it right there in the center. And then I'm going to use the blue tape just to tape it down so it holds it in place. This time I'm going to use some red chalk art. So I'm just going to take my little scraper from a maker studio. You can purchase these. They come in a larger size, and then I cut them. I'm just going to take that and I'm going to wipe the chalk art off. I'm going to dip my chalk art into the red. I'm going to dip my scraper into the red chalk art. I just take about a dollop, like a, I don't know, quarter size. Hold my surface down and just lightly, you don't have to scrape hard on this type of stencil. Just scrape across. Save your excess, so definitely come back in here, and if you have any excess, what I really like about using the chalk art as well is that what you find is that you have kind of a raised consistency, so the stencil is a little bit raised. You don't have to let it dry. Chalk art dries really quickly, so you definitely want to make sure that you throw it right in the water. You have a tub of water next to you with your stencil. Throw that in the water so that it can start the process of cleaning off. And then make sure you close your chalk art. This one's called Love Is, and it's a beautiful red color. And there you have it. I'm gonna do a couple more here. Come let us adore him. Now this is fun because come let us adore him, and then you've got this swirl and you've got this star. So I'm gonna center it on my surface. And this time I'm gonna use a couple different colors. And what I also might do is in the star, I might do more than one star. So I'm going to use black chalk art. The black is called Preaching to the Choir. Amy Howard is the artisan who has created the Maker Studio products, and she loves naming her paints. And she names them some really cute names. So for this time, I'm just going to do the words first because I want them to be in black. Now the chalk art is actually a chalk, but it can also be used as a paint. But it needs to be sealed. If you don't seal it with some kind of a sealer, then it will wash right off of your surface. So that was the Preaching to the Choir in black. So I did just the words. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the star and the squirrel, and I'm going to use this silver color. It's a metallic silver color. Look at how pretty it is. Actually, I'm not going to use metallic silver because I just realized that I'm working on a silver surface and it won't show. So I'm going to use a white instead. So there's my little blob. Now these surfaces, there's a lot you can do with them. And I found them in multiple sizes over at Michael's. I wanted to show you another size that I found. If I can find it here. Oh, here it is. What I did with this one, I think it's like a 8x10, maybe 8x11. So I put some blue tape on it first, and I painted the inside red so that this silver metallic tin is kind of shining through. These also came in a 6-pack for $15 at Michael's. They have the same hanging feature and the stand. And so this is really fun because you can just do your stencil right on top of the red color, and it will probably pop a little bit better. And I also painted a white one just to give you an idea. There's a white one. So there's a lot of options. You don't have to just stick to using the stencil and the chalk art. You can definitely use more paint and things. So I'm gonna remove it pretty quickly because I don't want it to smear. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I think it came out really pretty. But see how perfect? It's like the words are so small and intricate. And I'm just so impressed with Essential Stencils and the designs that they've come up with. And I wanted to let you know also, this isn't the first time I've worked with these Mylar plastic type of stencils. I've used them before. And these are really durable. They, when you wash them, they stay in place. They're sturdy. I don't worry about ripping them, and I felt like they were a really good product. Okay, I have 6 surfaces I'm doing here because my Christmas tree needs all 6. Here's a snowflake. I'm going to do the snowflake in white. And this time I'm going to do a couple snowflakes. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. So I'm going to take my white chalk art. That is way too much. You really just need about a quarter size amount. Now, I'm putting the chalk art onto the stencil. I'm using Essential Stencils. If you joined the video late, just wanted to let you know that my website, Create with Cynthia, I carry the Essential Stencils on. So I pulled it off, and now I'm going to just set it in another spot. And I'm kind of scraping in a not hard manner, just really lightly. I'm scraping the chalk art onto the stencil. You don't need to push down, but what you can do is remove the excess. And that kind of helps you save the chalk art. You don't want to waste it. And I'm going to try one more right here. So if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you will subscribe to my channel. It's very new. I've just got a handful of videos out so far. And if you're watching this video as you're viewing my blog post, thanks so much for subscribing to my website. I really do appreciate that. Okay. So I put 3 different snowflakes on there. I think it came out cute. This is my snowflake stencil. Okay, I have 2 more surfaces. Show you a couple more. I wanted to do more Christmassy ones for the tree. I think I'll do a reindeer. Okay, let's see what color should I do the reindeer in. I'm going to do it in the gold. So I'm just going to get a paper towel and wipe off the chalk art. Now, as you know, I'm a maker boss for a maker studio, and they carry, excuse me, stencils as well. They cover adhesive stencils. They are of a mesh material, and they're sticky on one side. These are different. These are like Mylar stencils from Essential Stencils. This is the gold metallic. I take a dollop. I'm doing a reindeer. Now, I had a paper towel roll there, and my dog Oreo just grabbed it. And you can probably hear him in the background running around playing with it because he loves to play with toys. Okay, there's this metallic gold is pretty. Oh, it came out great. Now, if you don't like the, on this one, I actually forgot to line it up. And I know you can't see it. Just take this tape off of here so I can throw my stencil in the water. I didn't line it up, as you can see, really, if it was going to be straight. But you know, it still looks great because reindeer don't necessarily run in a straight manner. So in this one, the reindeer looks like he's leaping off of a cliff onto the ground. That's pretty. Okay, I have one more to do. So pop over to Essential Stencils website. Today I'm working with the 6x6 stencils. I'm gonna do the Joy stencil next. This one will be fun because I can do a couple different colors. So there's a little wreath around the Joy. So I'm going to do that in green. I'm taping my stencil to my surface just in case it slips a little bit. I'm grabbing my dollop and I'm going in I'm scraping it with the scraper onto the stencil. If you were using paint, you'd have to only use a small amount of paint and you'd have to pounce it on to the stencil. I find the chalk art to be a lot easier. Okay. Now I'm going to do Joy. And I'm going to do it in the silver. I'm sorry, the metallic gold. So if you decide to pop over to my website, createwithcynthia.com, and subscribe to my newsletter, what you'll find is that you'll get about 3 to 5 email blog posts from me per week, 1 newsletter, and you'll have on there you'll find a lot of different information about do-it-yourself crafts, like those that you can use Essential Stencils with, and then I also do a lot of furniture restorations. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it off. Oh, came out great. There we go. Isn't that cute? So I'm going to seal these surfaces now, if you choose not to seal them, because I'm using the chalk art, you can easily just wipe them off with water and reuse your surface next year. So I hope you enjoyed this video. These are super easy, do-it-yourself crafts that you can make for your family and friends. I don't think anyone can ever have enough holiday decor. This is the snowflakes. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the notifications button below and subscribe. Thanks.